So, like, really quick, let me catch you up to speed. This is a video reacting to Dylan Thomas's video reacting to Turkey Tom's reaction to Pyrocynical's reaction to Turkey Tom's document. I know that's a long list of things, but this is me and Guerrilla Radio criticizing Dylan Thomas for like almost 30 minutes, just uncut our reaction to the video. I'm going to lay out all my points right now. This is like a too long, didn't read version of the video, though I would suggest watching the whole video because obviously we go more in depth. Dylan Thomas is very disingenuous through his whole video by presenting Turkey Tom's argument as a legal one, while Turkey Tom makes moral arguments through his whole three-part series and the document. Dylan Thomas also will go on to say the age of consent is 16 where Ivory Rasmus is from. That is factually incorrect. It is 18 in the United States of America. If it's 16 in the state he is in, which it is, it only applies to 18-year-olds. I would know, I am from that state. Dylan Thomas also says we shouldn't take Turkey Tom's word at face value while taking Pyrocynical's word at face value in his own video, and directly lies about clips that he plays right before. So there's a too long didn't watch version of this video, but again, you will be able to see the full contents and context of what I'm talking about if you watch the video. Thank you very much for watching.
For these attributes and calling someone a pedophile. In my opinion, I don't think that you should be throwing around labels like this that have the potential to ruin someone's life. Now, after the whole Mr. Enter thing, Tom was basically backed into a corner and forced to apologize to Mr. Enter, and a lot of people would think that's where his pedophile claims would stop. But no, it's not where it would stop, because Turkey Tom never learns his lesson. He instead runs away and then does the shit again. And a good example of that is with Digibro. Now, I don't like Digibro. Digibro's a piece of shit. He's a weirdo. But the one thing I wouldn't call Digibro definitively is a pedophile. Turkey Tom did call him a pedophile. Let's play that clip.
As it turns out, Digi here is a self-admitted and proud lover of children, or as he calls it, a lolicon. Essentially what this means is that he is sexually attracted to lollies, or little anime girls, something which he seems to proudly state considering that he posts about it so often on his Twitter.
What?
This is quite the tweet.
Yeah, I had to read it twice just to understand what's going on.
I don't understand what's going on.
About it so often on his Twitter, and actively...
Okay, so he's defending Lolicon. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, firstly, Tom didn't call him a pedophile. He said he's a lover of kids. Which, I mean, yeah, he is. He definitely is, based off these tweets alone. Yeah, he's definitely a lover of little kiddos.
Yeah.
Like, I get they're not real, but that doesn't change the fact that they're still representing kids.
Yeah,
know?
you're attracted to representations of children.
Exactly.
Like,
So that's still, yeah.
defends pedophilia as if it is okay and should be accepted by
Oh boy. Okay. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Dylan. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think this is the hill you want to die on here.
Yeah. This is not a.
First
good
of all,
take.
I could easily fill a book with anime girls over 18.
Yeah. Really. Jesus Christ.
So Turkey Tom shows screenshots, and the screenshots does not actually show him defending pedophilia. It instead has him discussing lolicon.
He's defending it. He's not discussing it.
Yeah,
what the
like,
fuck do you, Dylan? You can't.
He's
Show him
hold on.
defending
saying
pedophilia.
Patreon banning lolicon artists is a bad thing. If you're drawing animated child porn and Patreon doesn't want you on their platform for that, I think that's more than fucking reasonable. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
exactly. And to say he's not defending it, he's discussing it, that's such a disingenuous way of looking at
No.
these tweets.
That is not just discussing it. He's literally saying I've
he's,
lost a ton of respect for them for banning lolicon artists from their platform.
oh my
That's-
ugh.
That's not just discussing it.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
Jesus Christ.
Now, the internet is still debating on if lolicon is considered pedophilia, and I know some courts have already decided that it does count as pedophilia. But there are plenty of countries in the world that doesn't consider it pedophilia.
Oh, come on, Dylan.
There are Dylan, there are countries in the world where real child porn is legal.
Exactly.
You
This
know that,
isn't the
right?
fucking hill you want to die on, dude. Dude, remember when
In
Shadman
Saudi
had to...
Arabia, I can legally beat women. Why can't I? Why? So it's morally correct, right?
Exactly. Dude, so if something's legal
This
in
is what
another...
happens when you Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is what happens when you base your morality off of laws dictated by a state apparatus. This is what happens when you base your morality off of that.
He's just like, oh, well, it's legal in a different country,
Which
so there's no
super,
real moral implications about it.
Which is super fucking ironic, considering this guy considers himself a libertarian.
Yeah, really.
Super fucking ironic.
And doesn't consider it to be a crime. So the fact that Turkey Tom is going to call Digi a pedophile definitively, despite him only admitting to liking anime girls.
He didn't call him a pedophile definitively. In the clip you played, he didn't call him a pedophile. He said he's attracted to kids, and that's because he quite literally is. He's attracted to art depictions of children.
He didn't. Well, he didn't even say he's attracted to kids, did he? I thought he said he's just attracted to
I think he
lollies.
said like self-proclaimed child lover.
Okay. So like, here's my thing, right? If you're attracted to a drawing of an 11-year-old girl getting fucked, what do you call that?
Exactly. Like, what do you like? Ugh.
Like if I'm attracted to a drawing of a dog getting fucked, I mean,
yeah, like you're most
what
thing is,
what is that?
What you view represents what you usually like in reality. Like,
Exactly.
the thing is, like, I get it. It isn't a real child, so no child's actually being harmed here. But there's definitely implications about what you actually like if you're looking at Lolicon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for instance, you know, I like hentai, like MILFs and hentai, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Big mommy milkers. Guess what? I also like big mommy milkers IRL. So I mean,
I'm attracted to Homestuck characters, so that would imply I'm attracted to real life trolls.
Girls is a little bit dishonest. I don't think that's a fair thing to do to him, and I don't think that you should be willing to throw around this label so willy-nilly. Like,
that's literally what you just did. You just did exactly what you're criticizing him for. You just basically said he's being disingenuous, like ever so slightly disingenuous about these tweets, when you're being ever so slightly disingenuous about the clip you just showed. Like, what the fuck? You're doing exactly what you just criticized him for. You can't just... Oh, God. That's bad.
This is a terrible video.
This is a bad video.
Like you do. Now let's move on to the big thing that everyone wanted me to talk about.
Here
that
comes.
Being the pyro accusations. I have a lot of clips ready for the pyro accusations, and I've already decided that I'm only going to be covering one of Turkey Tom's claims from his pyrocynical video. That being the claim that I can 100% prove is false as of now. That being, Tom said that Pyro knew that the kid he was talking to was 15 years old. This is a very important argument, because if Pyro knows that the kid was 15, that means that Pyro actually committed a crime. So let's hear what Turkey Tom has to say.
And Pyro, I know you've been nice to me in the past, and I was very glad to see someone who I looked up to be friendly to me, and this is probably burning a big bridge, but I'm not going to sit here and lie about what you did. Pyro Cynical, at age 19, was messaging a 15-year-old boy and using him as an opportunity for sexual gratification. He knew his age at the time, and after the fact, he lied about it in a terrible Reddit post because he knew it was exactly what his audience wanted. There really isn't any debate about that, and it is completely fair to call him a weird, creepy guy. He is by all accounts a freak, and the people who defend him are either extremely dumb or willfully ignorant. I don't know which is worse.
As you can see, Turkey Tom gave no proof that Pyro knew that the kid was 15.
So you're gonna cut out the whole video before... That was literally at the end of his video, I should clarify, because I don't think you've seen it. That was the end part of his video. He cut out all the fucking proof that Tom included beforehand and showed that clip.
Oh my god.
Dude, fucking, of course there's no proof right there, because he showed all the proof at other parts of the video. Also, again, he didn't call him a pedophile. He called him a creep. There is a difference.
This is one of the most disingenuous videos I've ever seen. Like, I don't even have like all of the context, and I already know it's like fucking disingenuous.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, he literally is being incredibly disingenuous here by saying, "Oh, you're showing no proof of this allegation." Wow, he's ignoring the proof that was laid out through the whole video.
Instead, he just said it, and I guess that's enough for his audience to believe it.
Let's see exactly how far into that video that was, because that was his first video on Pyrocynical. Alright, so if we...
I'm not going to sit here and lie about what you did.
This is literally at the 17-minute mark.
Wait, where's the proof? Where did he show the proof that he knew
So,
he was underage?
fuck, I need to find it.
They are doctored. She seems to admit that Pyro sent these messages to Ivory, as well as saying that she had done the same. She expresses that she doesn't think what Pyrocynical did was that bad, and while she feels the age gap wasn't ideal, she doesn't think that anything bad happened to Ivory. At no point in this post does she say that Pyrocynical did not know Ivory's age. In fact, all evidence in this post points to the opposite.
He never once disclosed the fact that he was 15 at the time of these exchanges commenced. He didn't include his age in his bio until he was 16, but I was not on Twitter between 28th December 2016 until the 29th of June 2017, as I was suspended.
He also included a few posts from people across Twitter claiming that Ivory lied about their age. What Pyro was doing here is building a case that Ivory Rasmus is not a credible source, and therefore, he is not to be trusted. Smart move, especially when you don't have anything else to swing back with. However, one quick look at Ivory's Twitter account from this time will reveal that he was very open about his age publicly on Twitter. I'm a 15-year-old shut-in who checks his phone a lot, but I hate how little kids bring a desk's worth of tech everywhere if possible. Well, okay, that's just proof that Ivory said his age a lot on Twitter. He could have been lying in other places, right? Pyro said that he was suspended on Twitter before Ivory turned 16, at which point he had put his age in his bio. I can see why Pyrocynical said this. It denies him of any culpability without needing solid proof. Was attaching screenshots of a few random people who said that Ivory had lied about his age pretty low? Yeah, sure. Was it also kind of weird that one of those people apologized for their entire thread and deleted it? Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of off. Is it also weird that another one of them apologized for what they had said and retracted the statement entirely? Well, that is kind of odd, but surely he couldn't have known. And honestly, Pyro probably would have gotten away with this lie if his own girlfriend hadn't messaged Ivory in an emotional fit, victim blamed them, and admitted that everything was completely true. She even pointed to his age being younger than 15 and said that while the age gap was bad, she doesn't think that it constitutes grooming. And I agree completely. It may not constitute grooming. But what it does say is that Pyrocynical lied in his post. And if he had actually read through all of the leaked messages from Ivory, which Pyrocynical himself said were real, he would see an instance when Ivory said that he was a minor. And even if you want to say that Pyro didn't lie, and this is not convincing enough for you by some miracle, fine, I get that. But he didn't even ask their age. Why wouldn't a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, who is an adult, 19 years old, ask some random person they are messaging on Discord about inhaling each other's farts for their age?
Like around here, Pyro's sent a link to his Twitter, and it's implied that Pyro would have seen his tweets, being that he followed him. But there is always that possibility that he never saw it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's
ugly.
be as charitable as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say he never saw those tweets.
Yeah.
If you're getting sexual with someone, shouldn't you ask how old they are first?
And Pyro addresses that in his video by saying that was his fault and he should have.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that doesn't really make up for what happened, though.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why everyone's just excused it as like, oh, it's just degenerate furry shit. He was still being sexual with someone who was 15.
Yeah, no, like when I was 19, I was old enough to understand, like, if I'm gonna get sexual with someone, I need to know how fucking old they are. I mean,
exactly.
what the fuck?
Well, especially when you have a massive platform like Pyrocynical does.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
Exactly. Like,
that gets into another thing. Was the kid a fan of his?
Yes, the kid was. Yeah, the kid very clearly states that, like, of course he did it because it's fucking Pyro.
Yeah, so then then we get into the power dynamic thing, and that's a whole other that's a whole other conversation to be had.
Yeah, but it's fine because it's Pyrocynical. Who cares? It's Pyrocynical.
It's so stupid. Like, even if the kid was like fucking 18, 19, like, there's still a very clear power dynamic there that I'm not really a fan of.
Exactly. That's how I see it too.
Proof that Pyrocynical knew he was 15, he can just say it, according to this clip from his first video. Well, that was just the first video in this 3-part.
You skipped fucking a whole 17 minutes of proof. Why would you just say that? Doesn't even make sense. You can't just be like, oh, Turkey Tom's being very disingenuous and he can just say it when you're literally just saying, what? Oh my god. That's such a bad fucking take.
Would lie about their age.
Dude, yeah, because there's a whole 17 minutes leading up to the clip you just played.
Dylan's just lying at this point.
He is. He's
He's
literally just
straight up
lying to
lying.
make Turkey Tom look worse than he is.
Yeah.
Series, maybe in the second video he will actually have damning proof that Pyro knew the kid was 15. Well, let's play a clip from his second video.
The proof I saw was pretty damning.
See Ivory not only say that he is a minor, but also a message of him clearly sending his Twitter bio with his age in it to Pyrocynical, at which point he would have been 16 years of age, and Pyrocynical would have been 20. In the newer leaked messages between Ivory and Ida, before he turned 16, we see her acknowledge that he is clearly 15 years of age, showing that he wasn't lying to her at the very least about his age. Not only this, but the DMs seem to be alluding to Pyro and Ivory forming some kind of relationship at the time. Ivory says that Pyro is talking about more real-life stuff. But okay, how bad could it be? We don't know the full intent of these messages, right? Well, it gets worse. Here, Ida clearly says that she doesn't think it is unrealistic for Pyro, at age 19, to be in a relationship with Ivory at age 15. They both clearly acknowledged Ivory's age just minutes ago in these messages.
As you can see, he still has no proof that Pyro knew the kid was 15, and instead says because Pyro's girlfriend, who isn't even his girlfriend at the time, she would go on to be his girlfriend later, knew that the kid was 15, that means that Pyro had to know from her, because Turkey Tom is a mind reader, I guess. He is a psychic. He knows these type of things. He's the That's So Raven of the commentary community. He can actually determine if you ever had a conversation, even if there's no proof to that conversation actually happening. What I would need in order for me to believe this crazy idea is a DM from Pyro to his girlfriend saying that he knows, or a DM from Pyro's girlfriend to this person saying they told Pyro. But you don't show either of these DMs. So right now what you are doing is assuming, and you should never assume when it comes to situations like this, when it comes to labels like these, when it comes to accusations like these. So we've
But
already
he never used the label though.
He didn't. So, I will agree that Turkey Tom shouldn't have assumed just because Ida, which is Pyro's now girlfriend, knew that Ivory was a minor, that Pyro would have known. But I don't know. They were also friends at the time, like Ida and Pyro. They were clearly just talking about Pyro. So I mean,
Well,
you would assume that Ida would have told him if there was a possibility there.
Yeah, like especially if Ida knew that Pyro was like sexually role playing with this person, you would have think if Pyro didn't know, Ida would have been like, "Hey, Pyro, listen,
Maybe
this
you
kid's
should know
15,
that this kid's fucking 15.
might want to pump the brakes there." Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
So that would mean because like Ida knew about his role play with this person, right?
yeah, I mean, based off these conversations, you can definitely hold on. Let me
Inductively reasonable.
Yeah, you can definitely assume that. Exactly, like
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
you can definitely assume that she knew at that point.
DM from Pyro's girlfriend to this person saying they told Pyro. But you don't show either of these DMs. So right now what you are doing is assuming. And you should never assume when it comes to situations like this. When it comes to labels like these. When it comes to accusations like these. So we've already established that Turkey Tom has no evidence that Pyro knew that the kid was 15. Well, instead of presenting us with some type of evidence, Turkey Tom instead tries to form a hypothetical. Let's play out his hypothetical argument.
So, for
Pyro to not know Ivory's age, 5 conditions need to be met. 1. Pyrocynical never once saw the initial DM from Ivory saying that he was a minor. 2. Pyrocynical never once saw the DM where Ivory sent him his Twitter profile. Pyrocynical, who at the time was expressing interest in a relationship with Ivory, which was corroborated by Pyrocynical's at the time soon-to-be girlfriend, still never knew Ivory's age, and an age which she thought would not dissuade him from being in a relationship with Ivory. 4.
That's also very important. The fact that Ida never said anything to Pyro definitely implies a lot about his character, that she never thought that would dissuade Pyro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't make that assumption. Like, you would definitely tell that person under that circumstance if you didn't think, if you thought it would be something that would be a problem for them.
Yeah, like if you were trying to fuck someone and I knew that they were 14, 15, and then like
you'd be
I
like,
would, I would
hey,
be like, Cassie, this person's 15. You might want to pump the brakes a little
exactly.
bit.
Like, that's the thing. So, like, for her to not tell him, it's implied that he clearly wouldn't have had a problem with this, which I get it. According to Dillin Thomas logic, we shouldn't assume, but Dillin, you also shouldn't skip 17 minutes of a video.
Pyrocynical never saw any of the tweets of Ivory explicitly saying that he was 15 years old, on an account that he followed and interacted with very regularly. 5. Somehow, outside of these instances, Ivory never mentioned his age once in the presence of Pyrocynical. As you can see, these conditions are a little ridiculous, and they're kind of where I rest my case.
When it comes to situations like this and accusations like this, you don't want to do this. This is probably the worst thing that you can do, is set up a hypothetical, because there's no way to 100% prove that Pyro didn't know. Instead, you're setting up a set of circumstances that will lead your audience to think that he knew, because you're convincing them that he did know.
Well,
now,
yeah,
I know
because
that
he's showcasing the fact that it's a very low likelihood
yeah, exactly.
that he didn't
It's
know.
very improbable that he didn't know.
Yeah, like that's what's wrong with. I don't see what's wrong with that.
That's what they do in court. That's what the
Yeah,
legal
literally.
system does, Dylan.
So for instance, right? Let's say there's a bank robbery. You're the prime suspect, and at the time of the bank robbery, you don't have an alibi. The fact that you don't have an alibi will be used as evidence in court.
Exactly.
Now that doesn't prove that you were there at bank robbery, but you also don't have an explanation as to where you were at that time, and you met. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what you
Yeah.
do in a situation like this. You take all the evidence implied and use it at full force against that person to fucking convince people that, yes, this person did something wrong.
So this hypothetical is worthless, and it seems like to me you're just too cowardly to admit to the thing that you think about Pyro. So now let's jump over.
No, he's just not definitively calling him a pedophile because he has no absolute proof that he knew. And, like,
Yeah, exactly.
he's not a pedophile. He doesn't think he's a pedophile.
He's just using inductive reasoning
Exactly.
to try to make sense of the situation. That's what everybody does, because like nobody is gonna flat out say, yeah, I'm a pedophile. I mean, some people will, but most people won't. So at that point, you have to, inductively reason. You have to infer based off of the evidence and, information that you have, like,
Yeah, exactly.
to come to a conclusion. And I think that Turkey Tom's conclusion is
Pretty justified.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you are following someone on Twitter, frequently interacting with their tweets,
Frequently
and they post
speaking
about
to
how they're-
them, and they've linked you
Yeah.
their account, like, it's implied at that point that you know their age, especially when they're frequently tweeting their age.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know.
That's some pretty inductive reasoning right there, but, according to Dylan, it's cowardly for him to not call him a straight-up pedophile. Whenever this video is talking about Turkey Tom too often definitively calling people pedophiles when he never did that. Like, in all the
Yeah.
examples he's shown, he never definitively said these people were pedophiles. He said they
Other
were being
than
creepy.
Mr. Internet, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one definitely, yeah. Which, that one's a fucking shit take either way.
Right. So like, yeah.
What I've been saying this whole video, Turkey Tom can't prove that he knew the kid was 15. And instead of just admitting that he was wrong and giving up on that point, Turkey Tom instead tries to manipulate his audience yet again by saying that Pyrocynical should have stopped talking to the kid when he knew he was 16. Now, this is made to deliberately trick his audience, because people will point out that 16 is a minor, and he wants you to know that 16 is a minor, so you'll think that Pyrocynical is bad because he is an adult. Not only are there only a few years between Pyrocynical and the kid, that being 4 at max, it actually turns out that the age of consent in both Pyro's country
my
and the
God.
kid's country is 16.
This is a really quick after the fact, because at the time I did not know exactly where Ivory was from, despite the fact that I believed he was from the United States, which, if you don't know, the age of consent is 18 here. For any internet-related sexual activities, it is 18. The specific state Ivory is in, I know very well because it is the same one I am from, and the age of consent to have sex with an 18-year-old is 16 here, but not anyone over that age, so Dylan's point here is completely void anyway. Look, age of consent doesn't matter. It's a moral decision of a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it doesn't.
Like, I get it.
The
Legally,
obvious power
sure. Legally, yes, it's fine. But morally, are you really gonna die on the hill of, well, 20-year-old Pyro can be with 16-year-old fucking... Dude, most people from countries where the age of consent is 16 disagree with the age of consent being 16.
Right.
Like, because it's not an appropriate age to have the age of consent at. They were 4 years apart. I get it. It's legal, but does that make it morally okay? No. And
Yeah,
again, he's like Turkey Tom's intentionally trying to manipulate his audience by saying this adult shouldn't have been with this minor. Dillin, that's not manipulation. Just most people with a functioning fucking brain know that.
That would mean that the kid was legal in both of their countries. And if the kid is legal in both of their countries, no crime was committed. Now, am I for the age of consent being 16?
Ooh, wait,
No,
wait,
but
wait,
I'm
wait, wait,
point-
wait. Did Turkey Tom ever imply there was a crime that was committed?
No.
Yeah,
No, he
so
did not. So this
fucking
point is
qualified-
this point is moot. There's
Yeah.
no, yeah, exactly. There's nothing. No, he never said Pyrocynical committed a crime. He was saying what he was doing was morally wrong.
yeah, like okay, so
This point is complete. It literally doesn't matter in the grand
like
scheme.
lolicon is technically legal in the United States. Okay, that doesn't make it morally correct. That doesn't make it morally okay.
Exactly.
of their
I
countries,
love that
no
point, by the
crime
way.
was
What?
How Dylan says he's not for the age of consent being 16. So wait a minute. Does that mean you think it's morally wrong?
Exactly. Like what? So if you're not for it, then why the fuck are you defending it?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So either A, you're lying and you think it's actually okay, or B, you think that it's actually morally wrong, it's just not legally wrong, which means you agree with me.
Exactly.
So which is it?
He needs to fucking. Well, it's Dillin. He can't fucking pick a side. He doesn't actually. He probably thinks it is morally wrong, but he feels the need to go against it because he has a fucking vendetta against Turkey Tom.
More than likely.
argument that Pyrocynical talked to a 15-year-old. That's fucked up, right? Well, morally it is kind of fucked up, but legally speaking,
Kinda?
Pyrocynical did
Wait.
not know the kid's age. Now, should he have asked for it? Yes, but he didn't.
So actually, that wouldn't hold up in a court of law. If you did take that to court, the adult is always legally responsible for asking for the minor's age in
Yeah.
that situation. So,
Exactly, so you wanna talk about
legally
laws.
he didn't know, but legally he would still be charged if that were to go to court because he's the adult and he should have appropriately asked.
But I think the real caveat here is that why are you making a legal argument when Turkey Tom
Tom-
was making a moral argument?
Exactly, he never implied legality here.
Okay. Either way,
Mhm.
whether he did or not, Dylan hasn't demonstrated
An example of that.
of him making a legal argument
So-
anywhere in this video.
Exactly.
So like if when you're making a video like this,
You need to have
need
things
to
to
provide context for everything because you can't just automatically assume something that Dylan is ostensibly against that your audience is already like, caught up on this whole thing, watched all of Turkey Tom's videos, watched all of Pyro's videos and everything. Like you need to like provide context for people who may not be as familiar.
Well, Dylan,
Because
Mhm.
if you're not providing context with people who may not be familiar, which I imagine a lot of his audience isn't because he mainly makes Sonic videos, so there's probably a lot of people that aren't familiar. Wouldn't that be kind of, I don't know, manipulating your audience if you're not providing context? I don't know.
So because Pyrocynical didn't know that the kid was 15, he didn't commit any crime. It's only illegal if you know that you're talking to someone who cannot consent and then continue being sexual with them.
No,
That's
no,
not
no.
true. That's not correct.
My farts would make a really disgusting squelch sound when they left my ass and would stink so badly with sweat spraying out of my ass. I bet your cock is so hard from imagining that.
Actually, yeah. I mean, that does imply that they were having a real sexual conversation beyond just furry shit. Because he's saying, I bet your cock is hard from imagining that to a 15-year-old. But, it's Pyro, so it's fine.
Pyrocynical did not know the person's age, therefore he didn't commit a crime. But not only did Turkey Tom double down on this argument,
Why?
he also doubled down.
I'm just sounding like a broken record at this point. But like, it doesn't matter if he committed a crime or not. That's not the argument here. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. It's a moral issue.
Jesus Christ! Like, if I have like 2 terabytes of fucking lolicon porn on my computer, well, I'm not breaking any laws, but that's kind of fucking weird, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, like whether or not you're breaking a law doesn't inherently mean what you're doing isn't bad.
Yeah, like if I have donkey porn on my computer, donkey porn is not against the law. Like videos of 2 donkeys fucking,
Yeah.
that's not against the law. But like if I have a bunch of videos on my computer of donkeys fucking, that's kind of weird, dude.
That's definitely implies some strange things about you as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no definitive proof that she told Pyro
He's repeating
that
himself
the
at
kid
this
was
point.
15. There is no definitive proof that Pyro talked to her about the kid's age. You cannot prove any of this shit, so it's pointless to be doubling.
Yeah, but there's also no definitive proof they didn't. Like, you know, like I know
Yeah,
Pyro
exactly.
can't access that Discord account anymore, but you can't really say, oh, well, I know for a fact because Pyro said so. I find it funny how I brought up, like, Turkey Tom's fan base earlier, just immediately clinging onto what he said because Turkey Tom said so, when that's literally what he's doing with Pyro right now. There's so much circumstantial evidence to imply that yes, he did know, but since Pyro said so, and Pyro can't provide any evidence otherwise, well, I guess that means Pyro's right.
Earlier, 16 is the age of consent, and instead of just admitting that he is wrong, he decides to try to push that Pyrocynical is fucked up for talking to someone sexually who can legally consent. So this is obviously a manipulation tactic.
Dylan, you literally said earlier in the video you don't think 16...
Wait. Yeah. Also, wait a minute. Hang on.
Uh-huh.
So if the law tells you you can consent, then that means you can consent. That's the argument he's setting up here.
Yes.
What about the countries where the age of consent is 12?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the age of consent on the internet, like, the accepted age of consent for the court of public opinion is 18.
Right.
Like, I get it. It's 16 in some places, but Dylan, they were still 4 years apart, and you even said in your own video you don't think the age of consent should be 16. And again, Turkey Tom is not arguing from a legal standpoint. He's arguing from a moral standpoint.
It's so stupid because where do you draw the line? So he lived in Nigeria and he's fucking an 11-year-old. I mean, they can legally consent, Dylan. Like,
Yeah.
where do you draw the line at that point?
Exactly. Like, is it still fine? Like, just
Yeah.
because, you know, it doesn't matter. Culturally, it doesn't matter. Like, I get it. Culturally, the age of consent and legally the age of consent is 11 there, but you as a person can make your own moral decisions. And again, Turkey Tom was never arguing legality. He was arguing morality, which are different fucking things. And you're even basically acknowledging that, but you're ignoring it just to make your point.
By Turkey Tom to convince his audience that he is right, even though he's been proven to be wrong by Pyrocynical multiple times now.
Pyro didn't really prove him wrong, he just said he was wrong. He just said that, oh, well, I didn't read it. Pyro could be lying. I don't know why everyone just believes Pyro just because he says it when Turkey Tom fucking piled on a boatload of circumstantial evidence. Like, does that make sense to you?
This idea that like Pyro says he didn't know, so we should just take his word for it. Well, I don't think you're being really skeptical enough at that point.
Exactly. Like,
Because of course, Pyrocynical, no matter the circumstances, is not going to come out there and say, "Yeah, I did know they were 15, and I just fuck with them anyway."
Exactly.
Like, come on, he's not going to say that.
No, I don't know why everyone's just taking it at face value like, oh, well, he said it, so it has to be the truth. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like you could say, "Well, we don't know either way, so we shouldn't draw to conclusions." Okay,
And that's fine.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
fine argument to make.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. But when you are jumping to conclusions when there's no evidence to, like, no actual exculpatory evidence on Pyro's part, Pyro has no exculpatory evidence here.
Yeah.
He has provided none, from what I understand. So because of that, you're just taking his word at face value. So just admit that. Just admit that.
Exactly. Like,
Don't
it's
just
this,
sit there and act like it's the fucking truth.
it's the same exact argument he's making against Turkey Tom. He's saying Turkey Tom shouldn't definitively say that Pyro did know. Well, you shouldn't definitively say Pyro didn't know when Pyro's provided no evidence that he didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I get it. His word is his word, but, you know, he also admitted to fucking sexually role-playing with a 16-year-old. Is he really the word you want to take at face value right now?
Yeah. So that's so funny because it's like, okay, so he did knowingly sexually roleplay with a 16-year-old. So is it really that hard to imagine he would do it with a 15-year-old?
Exactly. Like,
I don't understand. Like,
people who are that big of an age gap and are willing to draw the line that close to the
And
age
also-
of consent.
and also, even if there was evidence that he knowingly did it when he was 15, would you automatically change your opinion on him just because it was against the law?
Exactly. Yeah, like Dillin, just because it's illegal here doesn't make it morally okay. They were still 4 years apart, with Pyrocynical having a massive following behind him. Of course, Ivory is put in a pressured situation there.
Feeling that Turkey Tom fans will end up watching this video and saying that Turkey Tom can handle criticism, that Turkey Tom isn't a petty, spiteful bastard, that Turkey Tom will listen to what we're saying, and that he will care and will go on to improve. Well,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Turkey Tom isn't a petty, spiteful bastard, and I don't think that Turkey Tom will listen to what anyone's saying.
Probably.
But I think Dylan Thomas is also a petty bastard who will also go on to criticize someone and directly lie in his own video after playing a clip of it, and I think he will also avoid any form of criticism that is thrown his way.
I also think Dylan Thomas is a pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. See?
well, I have a feeling that he doesn't care, and I have a strong suspicion that he won't watch this video, and that he won't take any of the criticism that's being thrown at him.
Because your criticism in this video isn't an actual good criticism of Turkey Tom. It's because it's shit criticism.
Do people actually enjoy watching videos like this?
I hope to God they don't.
Like, I mean, I don't know. There's quite a few people seem to be enjoying it. I'm just like I don't know. Like, I don't understand the appeal behind these kind of videos. I mean, when I was like 14, I was like, I like these videos.
Well, how
but-
old do you think Dylan's fan base
Yeah.
is? Like, really? I'm not even saying that to make fun
I
of
know,
him.
but Dylan isn't 14. That's
Yeah, the thing is
the problem I'm trying to get to.
I don't even think Dylan enjoys his own videos.
No, Dylan might not be 14, but I think his girlfriend might be.